basically. You basically publicly profess your faith and that you believe Jesus is the Christ. And you get saved. So, anyways, every time that he called for an invitation, I didn't think that I was worthy enough because of my past and things that had gone on. And I never, ever went. Well, that particular day or night, evening service, I sat between two women. And they noticed, and I'm sure they knew who I was because I was sitting with the other family, and everybody in this church knew each other. They probably knew I was not saved. Of course, they knew I wasn't saved. So when the invitation came around, one of the ladies was like, "Do you want me to go up with you?" And I was like, "No, I'm good." And then the other lady on the right side of me was like, "Well, it's just a gift. It's a gift, what's going to happen if you walk out and something happens to you?" And I'm like, "I'm not ready. So the invitation continued to go, and they had music going, and my heart was already there. My heart was already up there, running up there, professing my faith in Jesus. However, my body and my brain was not going up there. So I'm not kidding. If I could describe as to that day and that moment in time, my heart was like attached to my body by this long string, and it was way up there, and it was tugging. And so the one lady on my left, she kept asking me, "Sure you don't want to go up?" I'm like, no, I'm good. The other one on my left. On my right, she was starting to cry. She was crying because she knew that if something happened to me, that I would not be going to heaven. And so during that period of time, the pastor of the church at that time, he kept adding on more music. And I don't know if that was, he was seeing what was going on, because it's a pretty big church, so I don't think that was the case. But maybe God was giving him instruction to continue the music and continue the invitation. And he did it several times. And I do remember saying in my mind that, oh my gosh, come on already, end this, because I'm sitting in between two people that were going to what's the word? Gonna make me get up there, run up there to get saved, or I was gonna get struck by lightning or something. That's what I felt. But again, my heart was already up there tugging me. And finally, after the person on my left, she kept saying, "You sure you don't want to go? You don't even have to get saved. Just talk to somebody." And then the one on my right, she was like, "It's a gift. It's crying and crying and crying." I mean, tears. I've never had anybody cry for me before, or at least that I know of. And finally, after the addition to the invitation, of course, more chorus lines of the music and whatnot, I finally went up. And when I got up there, I did say the prayer. I felt that was the time that I take my life serious in regards to my walk with Jesus. And I said the salvation prayer, and I listened to the people that were talking to me and praying with me. And it was pretty funny because the people that I attached myself to, the secretary, she wasn't there. And I know she would have loved to be there, but I guess at the time, and she didn't push me. She knew at some point that I would, I'm sure. But the day that they weren't there, I get saved. And it's pretty funny now that I look at it. But it was my time. and it was my time. I'm not saying that as a baby Christian there weren't things that I still did or didn't do that I should have. But in retrospect, that day I made a full commitment to Jesus and to really, truly live that holy life. And I believe I have done that. I'm not saying that I'm not perfect. I'm not at all. And I struggle a lot. But in retrospect, I do believe and I do try to live the holy life. And this podcast in the last few months has been in my mind and in my heart to share that and to share the fight that I have with Satan the day that I got saved. Because when you do go and say the salvation prayer and you do commit and you live that life, you get attacked. And boy, did I get attacked. And I guess, and I'm not saying that churches are wrong, because a lot of them, they do proclaim the gospel, and that's what they do. A lot of them, though, and talking to other Christians or believers of Christ, that they don't teach spiritual warfare. And I had to learn that by myself. Unfortunately, I was in a huge battle afterwards, because, of course, before that, I was in witchcraft. I professed myself to Mother Nature, Mother Earth, and all that other stuff. But in actuality, I was professing myself to Satan and the adversary. And he did not like that. However, again, my God is bigger than anything. And he's helped me through a lot of turmoil and to adjust myself to that spiritual warfare. And doing so, I learned a lot and read a lot and listened to other people that taught spiritual warfare and was able to apply that in my life. And here I am. During the day that I got saved, I did things that I never ever thought I would. I had a Bible club in one of the worst inner city projects, and I was taking a bunch of young kids who are from the suburbs into one of the projects that we were just, people were shooting every day, not every day, but every other day, mostly on the weekends. I also worked there part-time. They hired police officers to walk around and work with their security department, which I did. But I had this Bible club every Saturday morning, and taking these young kids and a couple of the older ladies who, weren't supposed to be there, but they were very committed. And I never thought that if you would have told me that that was ever going to happen, I would have told you you're out of your mind. But I did. And it went on for about a year, where we would go in, grab all these kids, and it turned out to be pretty huge. At first it was a few kids, and then it got more and more and more, and I would say, again, I haven't looked at, I put a lot online, like Facebook and Twitter. I guess I could go back and look at those and figure out how many kids were saved, but there's quite a few. I would say 30, 35 kids out of 50, maybe, at some point, I guess, total of kids that came. It may have been even more. But we made a major impact because in the last few years, there hasn't been as many shootings. And I'm not saying that there's not other outside things that preceded that and helped with that. But I would say that we took these kids at a young age, and we showed them, not only did we show them love, but we taught them the Bible, and then we played Bible games, and I fed them lunch or a snack or something, and we had games and prizes, and we did a lot of things. And I firmly believe that was the Lord's hand, and that we were able to, through that Bible club, stop a lot of the violence that they would have participated in had they not had some kind of seed put into them or even gotten saved. So that I did. And then in the last few years, I've been working with some people, pulling people out of satanic cult ritual abuse, and helping with a ministry that does that. Later, I will announce that ministry if I get permission to do so. And I hope to have some of these other people that are participating in that on this podcast, which would be very cool, because they're good people. They know their stuff. I'm still learning a lot on that aspect, but I am getting better at doing it and dealing with people who have been victimized of that and understand how huge that is. So being in that ministry and the other projects that I was involved in, I guess as a Christian or a follower of Jesus, that's my forte. I do believe that each person has a different thing that maybe God puts on their heart to do, and glorifying Him and doing things to bring other people to Him. But this is my forte, and again, I'm not perfect, and you'll hear some things that are pretty scary, and it's so big. I just, it's so crazy that sometimes I look at it and go, this can't be real, but because I've been involved in it and I see it, I do believe it. I just wish I didn't believe it. Sometimes I wish I never got into it, that I could keep my head in the sand and not know this stuff, but God put it on my heart to do it and to be on that battlefield. So I'm going to be on that battlefield. I'm going to continue being on that battlefield, and I'm going to continue bringing what I learned and or what other people have learned to this podcast to bring you on the battlefield, and for you to at the least come to Christ and know that there is two ways, hell or heaven. That's it. No other ways. And the what's going on now is really relative to basically hell on earth. Everything that's going on right now, if you don't believe in Revelations and or Daniel or Ezekiel, and see and read the Bible and see what's going on in this world right now, that we are living a hell on earth. But again, this is not going to be nothing compared to the hell that you'll be going to if you do not believe. And that we do have free will, and everybody has a path, but hopefully the path is that they get saved and they believe in Jesus Christ and know that He is a Savior, and that there's only one way to heaven, and that's through Him. So anyways, so the other thing that is an objective and what I hope to bring to you, well, not hope, but will bring to you, is